Hi Libra. I have been messing with this, and it's just where we're gonna be at. Leo season. All information to work with me is below, as well as the extended version to this reading where we get more in depth into your Leo season, which has been off to an interesting start. What is important to know about this card, and this card is funny on a few levels, but we'll dig more into that next. It's not funny if you feel like you haven't been able to do anything about that feeling, and I think last month has given you the opportunity for perhaps it to come up and for you to really address it. And it could be in terms of family. There you are right away. It could have to do with the node shifting. Either way, it's been brought to your attention, maybe through meditation, contemplation, reflection, or just being brought to the forefront during this Venus retrograde as well. But mainly, I think what this is coming from, which I really do think most things stem from, is when you start to look at one aspect of things and you take a look at your values in your relationship, what that looks like, what it looks like for you, what it looks like for the people around you, but mainly what you've learned from your life to interpret and then put into it consciously. And now you have the opportunity for a little bit more decision. Not that you haven't before, but now you're highly aware of what is very clearly not doing you any justice. And it's very important to understand at this time that it's not about, again, it's not about what you haven't done. And that 8, because that 8 could be tricky. Those bindings are loose. And the way that I've begun to interpret this and play around with it is those swords are all these, maybe these ideas, these external ideas or these external things that feel like you can't use them. But it's like, for some people, they think of things and it just binds them in because they don't feel like they have the resources, this, that, to get there. But the truth is, it's allowing yourself even the opportunity to believe that it's possible, the opportunity to believe and to put that into use in your life, even though maybe it's a step-by-step. Maybe you do need to do X, Y, and Z in order to move forward. Maybe it is like that kind of very physical, material understanding. And you can easily, those bindings are not, they're not tight. So another way to look at this is that your conscious is focusing on what has maybe felt tight at times, and now you are either breathing wider or expanding or recognizing that this has looped so many times that now it is loose. It's like they say that you have to hear something 11 times in order to like do it or, be active about something. And with our patterning and our programming, usually it takes a lot of experimenting to go through it. And then you may lose people. You may, have people that come and go, situations that come and go, certain things that look very similar to one another until you're ready to, in a way, use your ideas, use your power, use your mental strength and all of that to cut yourself loose, because really it's holding you back from what your subconscious has been really wanting to grow in. And this is only going to add value to your life. And of course, from Cancer season to Leo season, it's going to take Leo season to help you integrate that, to burn and trim whatever it is that is just been overpowering. And these node shifting are the reading is very clear. And it's very clear that this shift that's happened, especially the past month, regardless of the astrological events, it's major for especially the dominant force in your own ego, what it is that you have where it comes from. Maybe it doesn't have to be specific in order for you to understand and take it and apply it. It does not have to be that specific. I think sometimes for certain detailed people or very specific oriented people, you want to go back to like, where did this come from? Sometimes, and you'll get there, but sometimes even just accepting it, understanding it, knowing that you can continue to heal or forgive it, and then you know, it comes to you later, or you figure it out later. Just putting it out there, because it's really going to, again, this, interesting, right? Equals 10 is that it's not just about what you can control about yourself in order for people to recognize what people recognize about you, how specific that can be to the role that you play, which is a lot of what Leo season's about, and how that has expanded a certain version of you, certain part of you, but has maybe made smaller, contracted another aspect of you. And it's this reception of yourself, receiving yourself through this, in order to understand that the way through is to be like light on your feet, like a Leo. You know, not when they are, when they're in the very swift hunting mode, or when they're being playful with each other. There is some kind of aggression even about it. So you could feel a little competitive this month. That's a little tidbit for some of you. And this is also, there's been a dominant theme too with your own personal power. And Leo season is going to make it very apparent to you where you are, where it's lost, where you're not. And it's going to come up in your mind. It's going to come in your resources. It's going to come up in how safe you feel with your spiritual side of yourself, with community. If not, you're maybe attracting more community, might be around a little bit more people this month, because you're ready to build this thing. There's something brewing. You feel, and you feel something shifting. You know it's going to happen quick, and even 6 months is quick, and that's what I'm talking about. So these oppositions, for you to receive information, then apply, and then also want to apply without any prior information you learn along the way, are both kind of pulling at you. But it's working in your favor, especially if you, especially if it does help you expand your personal power, your personal growth, uncomfortable situations. Arcanas are here to say, like, a lot happens between this 10 of Pentacles to this Page of Swords to this 9 of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is, I don't want to say like the ultimate goal, but that's the attraction right now. That's the desire right now. And I think every time we go towards our desires, whatever the true desire gets deeper and deeper, whether we're aware of it or not. And that's why there's a lot of people who have these conversations, especially ones who have gotten wealthy and realized that they're just really need a spiritual practice, or they just want to do what they love, and figuring that out and knowing that that's all this is. People who have mastered that. And whether you are in understanding of that, one of those people, or searching for something external, you're going to find this very equally fluid, whatever you equally fluid matching this, what you value and what comes your way, or what you choose, or your reactions to what comes your way, your responses within you, even in turn before you can speak, but then having those moments where you have to and then retract, and take all the heat that comes with being exposed in Leo season too. This is quite a few more cards than I was hoping for, but we're gonna roll with it. A part of this is releasing something that you are very knowledgeable about. Sometimes our shadow creeps up in places where we need a specific place for something, like you're talking about something constantly, or you have this hobby that actually is turning into something you really love sharing with people. So maybe it's going in that direction and doing it in a way in which you have an outlet, say it's like a channel or something like that, a podcast, whatever it is, a space you just want to release. It's a great time to do it. Virgo season will bring a lot of enjoyment, a lot of like mental enjoyment, and then even more ideas flowing, and you just feel like you're being given, the more that you give in this way without too much attachment to it, right? There's so many cards out, and I'm excited to get into the next part. And I was like really resistant towards this reading, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know a lot, it's been a lot, honestly. There's something that you're discovering that you find so much value in it, that you either want to receive it endlessly, give it endlessly. Not that you don't want to do anything else, but like there's just this constant flow of like you absorb it from certain people that you like, or like books or whatever it is, and you love to share it in your life with certain people who are, you're realizing like, oh, who's on that really vibey level, not just like in the moment, then it feels weird after. The uncomfortability is growing, and knowing that we're like still all humans going through something, even if we notice shit and love talking about it, or life in whichever direction that means for you. You realize that you need some kind of outlet for it, and maybe you take some time while in the midst of the month to realize that there's actually, the more that you go in and realize that this is what you're really, and there's this quote but I really just love, like, I also agree, when people are passionate about something, they become captivating, because it's like they're giving freely and being well received and listened to and heard. And then there's this energetic, unseen by some, seen by our hearts, because it's feeling. So feeling is like to the heart or to the body what like hearing and seeing is to us. We feel things on different levels and layers, and we have to be able to hear that too. That's why it's like I'm becoming more sensitive. It's because you become more aware, you become more attentive to your body. Some are more sensitive than others for sure, but becoming aware of that is another journey. You see what I mean? So this, all of a sudden, so much opens up to you. There's something, even maybe your heart is opening, maybe there is this release of pressure in some kind of way. You feel like you also have action and very useful information for yourself. And I think that's more helpful than anything, because I was gonna say a really fun word, but unknown to some people, when a Libra, or any of your Libra placements that you feel strongly about, especially the risings too, when you're in between a decision, or you're vacillating, or you're weighing out, I like to just say, like, when you're weighing out different things, when you are in a place where you want to make all the different decisions, you want to do everything at once, it's really important to take focus on, like, where is it all pointing to? Maybe there's a lack of something, too much of something. I know it's a constant process, but those are things I get really simple of. And my life gets chaotic and I have a lot to do, I try to make eating simple. I try to make certain things so simple for myself that other pressures, it's easier to let go and like get stuff out of my brain, just like do what it is that I need to do. And that creates space for more to come in, for more energy to flow. You might feel more energy at first, especially towards the end of the month and as this continues to flow. But I want you to remember where you're putting that energy. And I just talked to Scorpio about this a little. It's like wherever you're focusing and flowing, if you are not, if it's so forceful or feels like you really need to be seen or something like that, again, do it. But notice, again, you're going to be given quite an opportunity to see where it is that you are just maybe wanting something just because it's like going birthday shopping or going and buying something. I'm guilty of this. Going and buying something and then buying something for yourself too. That's totally fine. But right now, just because you bought it for yourself doesn't mean you maybe wear it with the same person, or you just let them have their moment, let the people around them have their moment. But more, and that's for just a specific few. But for this opening and this flow of ideas, there's a lot of flow going on here. So when you also want to conserve that energy, right? You want to conserve all that energy that you maybe want to just like go do stuff, but then you realize there's something coming, and then you start maybe noticing that build up, like there's something coming, and so that you can use, and you need to be clear so you can use this energy in a way that's super productive, and you're going to thank yourself later for something. I've been doing for myself is, if I know I'm going to need, like, if there's certain things I need bulk of, I just do it because it's better for my future self, or whatever it is that I know, and like just a few months down the road or a week down the road, I'm like really thankful, like this was for future me. Start thinking about it like that. Like when you're doing things, it's like investing in your future self. I mean, obviously don't overuse it, of course, because then it just becomes like, okay, this is just a crutch or something you do. But definitely do stuff for your future self right now, because you're just gonna get little inklings and you're like, what? And then it's just gonna be like, oh, I get it. Okay, I know I can keep going, but we're gonna get to the next part. See you there. Links below.